Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and check everything's working. I think we're all good, so ready to go ahead and begin with another 7 days to die. Let's make a modlet. So let's go ahead and begin with where we left off last time. So we are on the next part of making our looting modlet. So what we were doing in the last episode, we have a load of files open here. I'll quickly run over what we did. First of all, we went ahead and added more block placeholders for our custom blocks that we added in. So what we did was we changed all of the current blocks that exist in the game to become placeholders. So all of the blocks that you can loot, like medical piles, the heroes loot chests, the shipping crates, and everything like that, we essentially made clones of these guys. So all these things are doing here is creating clones of them, and then in block placeholders, we went ahead and we turned those clones into placeholders that would then be forced to generate in prefabs. So now we can actually control how often things show up in the world, like different types of boxes, different types of blocks. So now at the end of POIs, you're not always guaranteed to get a hero chest. Sometimes it might be just a piece of trash, sometimes it might be a bag, other times it might get really unlucky and it might just be a thing of air. So what I'm going to do for really quickly is I do want to do one thing for the loot chest hero. So currently it will generate this is currently out of 20. Currently it will generate 1 out of 20 buildings that used to have a chest hero in there will now have will only have one of them. We now have coolers generating both open and close, and desk safes sometimes generating as well in place of those chests as well. Will B, welcome to the stream, dude. How you doing? So what I'm going to do is I think it might be nice if we added maybe for at least for the loot chests at the end a chance of a shipping crate as well, because I think that'd be pretty good if we have like one shipping crate at the end of each one. That might be a little bit more rewarding, but not too much, because we kind of want to balance the loot a little bit so it's not too harsh, but not too easy either. So we're gonna add some in here. So we're gonna go block name, and it's gonna be container shipping crate, and we'll say this is the bookstore crate. And we'll say the probability, we'll give these the same probability and then adjust from there. So we can go block name is shipping crate. So we can do, maybe we can do lab equipment. That would be a good one to do. Let me kind of go and line these probabilities up a little bit as well, so we can do that. So then the probability of that again can be 1. So currently now everything's out of 22. Block name, and we can add so that's the pop and pills one. We can add the working stiffs one. So let's go and do that one. So we want the working stiffs one, and that's the loot one, which is our one. Prob equals 1. And then finally, block name equals container shipping crate shotgun messiah, and we want that as well. And we're going to have to move all the probabilities over, just tab it over one more time. So now we can go ahead and say that the loot chest will also maybe pretty rarely generate one of these crates. So prob equals 1 as well. So now what we're going to do. Has this been chewed? There we go. My audio did cut out. Okay, there we go. My audio cut out. Thank you, Loaf Dog, for letting me know. Lost audio muted. How you doing, Webwhammy? Welcome to the stream as well. Yes, we did lose some audio. Mancha was actually chewing on my headphone cord, so I think she might have broken it a little. But I think I managed to temporarily get it fixed for now. So hopefully that'll be fine. So let me just go over what I did right here. We had I did have my loot chest generating this, some coolers, a desk safe or air. I added all the shipping crates into this one as well. So pretty much we have a 5 in 20 chance of something good being generated. Then these are kind of good. Cooler close and desk safe are kind of good. And then we have a 9 in 20 chance of something kind of bad being generated, like an open cooler or something like that, which is pretty bad. Okay, so hopefully the audio is back and everyone can hear me okay now. Let me just double check it's still coming through. Yes, it is. Okay, so audio is still coming through. We are good. Now, we did have a request from Mr. Ricky Adams about adding some perks as well to go in with this. And welcome to Jacob Gregg. He says, "What's this? This is a how to make a modlet video. So if you're interested in modding the game, we are currently working on a looting modlet, which is going to overhaul how loot generates in the world. And you know, like pretty much my one gripe with A18 and pretty much A17 was, you know how at the end of every single house, you always have a hardened chest, you always have the shotgun messiah crate or a working stick crate or a shelmet, you always have something good. Every time. Kind of ruins the experience and makes everything feel like a dungeon crawl. I kind of plan to overhaul that just a bit. So what we're doing right now is we're making it so that wherever there usually would be a shotgun messiah crate or a working stick crate, it has a chance to either generate that or it generates something different, maybe like a trash pile or an open cooler or a barbecue or so, stuff like that, so that we can actually dynamically change the loot based on the POIs. So no two POIs will ever be the same. That's pretty much what we're working on in this modlet. There was some previous videos where we did a modlet on we did one for like increasing zombie spawns. That was a very simple modlet, which I'm actually adding to in the background, doing something very cool with that. And we did one. I'll show you the other modlets we had as well. We did have another modlet over here that we made for. We had workstation removal, so the ability to pick up workstations and remove them from the world. I walked you guys through how to make a modlet like that, which would allow you to pick these things up, which is pretty awesome. So what we're going to do now then, I think, is we're going to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and introduce a perk which will allow us to harvest more out of pallets and things like that. So you know the pallets and stuff you find in the world, and the boxes and things that you can like hit with your stone axe or your shovel, and you can get cobblestones out of them. There's no perks that actually influence how much stuff you can get out of those things. It's all based on a flat mechanic or a probability mechanic. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and change a few of these things, because I think it would be quite cool if we actually had a perk to allow us to get more and maybe start with a bit less. Where it says, sounds fun to dynamically change where the good loot is at. Yes. So, and sometimes there won't even be good loot at all. So it'll be a lot harder to get guns and stuff in the early game as well. That's another thing we did. We made trash more useful. So more nails and stuff you can find in trash now, and things like gunpowder and stuff. You won't get like 2 or 3 gunpowder, which you just be like, I'm not going to take that. You'll actually get like 20 or 30, something like that, and you'll be like, oh, I can actually make a little bit of ammo with that if I find some casings and tips. So you'll actually be able to craft ammo a lot easier, so that when you do find a gun, after a little while, it'll actually be useful to you, and then you won't have to worry so much, which is going to be it'll be a nice little thing to see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to right, this is items. We don't need our items yet, I don't think. What we want to do is we're going to open the main vanilla blocks file. So we're going to go into data, and we'll go config, and then open the blocks file right here. So here it is. It's right here. It's actually right here, so we can use this. I'm going to go ahead and look for the pallets that have the cobblestone and concrete mix. So pallet white bags base, which I believe is the one here. So you can currently see that it has a harvest with cement. So you get some cement and you get some wood out of it, and you can see that it has this tag here, all harvest. Now, if we wanted to affect this by -69er. So actually this has between 10 and 100, so it's actually quite a varied amount. If we wanted to have this affected by -69er, we could add the all wood harvest to this as well. So this one sets the harvest to 0. This one sets it to 0 as well. So that's the partial bags. So yeah, all of these extend from there, and then we have the brown boxes. These ones have from the all harvest tag. These guys, as you can see, give you paper and they give you scrap polymers between 1 and 3 times. They used to give you like electrical parts as well, but I don't think they do that anymore. Let me see if there's like any electrical parts. So this is the brick space. So this gives you wood and small rocks, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think we should be able to add some perks to this. This is the blue tarp one, which gives you cobblestone. So you can see you get 35. So that's where the 35 in game comes from. You get it all from there, and no perks you get will actually influence that as well, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and see if maybe we can add a new skill which is going to influence that. So we're going to open up progression XML, and we're going to see how -69 does it to get a bit of an idea what we need to do. So, because this is something that I've not done before, but we can work it out, okay? So we're going to go, it's actually the motherload perk. So let's just type in motherload. It might be a capital L as well. Let's do that. perk model load. Here we go. So what happens here is the passive effect is the harvest count between levels 1 and 5 adds between 20 and 100% harvest count to any items or blocks with this tag or wood harvest. And then it also gives you more XP, or actually it gives you less XP from the looks of things. It gives you less XP from harvesting as you go up. Huh. Okay, so that's interesting. So as you perk into this, you actually get less XP for harvesting. That seems backwards, but still, I guess that's for balance reasons. But what we could do is we could add a perk similar to Motherload, and then give our blocks a certain tag, so we can go ahead and harvest things out of that. And how you doing, Ricky? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, we're working on your thing now. The skills and perks that's going to influence how much you get from the cobblestone pallets, and the brick blocks and things like that you find in the world. So I think that should be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and copy this. So we're going to copy this perk here. I'm going to change a few things when we go. So let's go and grab this guy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our modlet. So we're going to come out of here, go into mods. We're going to go into the looting redone modlet, into config, and we're going to go to progression here. So we have our own progression file, which we can go for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go add a new perk to the perception skill that allows the player to harvest more resources from pallets, boxes, trash piles, and yeah, so pallets, boxes, trash piles, and other scraps you find in the world. And I think we're going to call this scrap collector or something like that. That'd be a pretty good perk, I think. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a insert after, I think. So we're going to go insert after, and then the XPath we need this time. Let's go and check our progression file and see what we need. So it's under perks, and let me just see here. So we've got, let's go up here a second. Let's find the start of the perks area. So it's under perks, and then min level, max level is 5. And then that's all under progression. So it's progression and then perks is what it's under. So that's fine. So we're going to go progression. So skills is, what's this one? Skill, waste treasures. We don't need any of those. We need perks here. So it's going to be progression, perks, perk. Okay, so we're going to go and start after XPath. So we want to start from the progression node. We want to go and look in the perks, and then we want to find the particular perk, and then we want the perk whose name is, and then we'll find I think the salvage operations perk is the last one in the perception tree. So let's see if we can find that guy. There we go, salvage operations, and that's the strength one. Yeah, so we want to insert our perk after salvage operations, so we want to put it here. So we're going to insert it after perk, if I can do it, salvage operations. There we go. So we're going to insert it after that, and then we're going to go and enclose our insert after tag. So let's go and do that. So then we should be able to go ahead and do this. So now we're going to get that perk that we copied, and we're going to paste it right here. So we're going to say perk name, and then we're going to just change some names here. So this is going to be perk scrap collector. And the parent is going to be skill construction. No, now the parent we have to make the same for salvage operations. So in this case, it's skill scavenging. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we're going to change this to skill scavenging. The name key is going to be scrap collector name. So perk scrap collector name. And then description key is going to be perk scrap collector description. There we go. And then we're going to have UI game symbol. I think we could probably have wrench on here. Maybe UI game symbol wrench might do for now. I'll probably find some other symbol, or maybe we can add our own in the future. But let's just go for the wrench one for now, and we can go from there. Okay, so level requirements. So now we need to change the attributes. So currently this is saying at level 1 we want the strength attribute to be level 1. At level 2 we need the strength attribute to be level 2. At level 3 it needs to be 3. At 4 it needs to be 5, and at 5 it needs to be 7. So we need to go ahead and change this to turn into perception. So this time we're going to go, instead of at strength, I think we've got at perception. So let me just check that. So if I type at perception here, Yes, so it's at perception greater than or equal this, and it's rec perception level 01. Okay, so that works there. So let's go and do this. So we're gonna change all of these to at perception, like that. So that now requires the perception to be at the appropriate level, and then we're gonna change it to be so progression level is fine. The other thing we need to change is rec strength level 1 needs to be rec perception level 1 each time. So let's just copy this bit because the numbers are going to change, and let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be requirement perception level 1, requirement perception level 2, requirement perception level 3, level 5, and level 7. There you go. So this is going to add a perception requirement this time. So now what we need to do is we just need to go ahead and change the descriptions and the long descriptions. So all we need to do there is let's copy scrap collector here, and then we need to do wherever we see scrap motherload here, we're going to change it to scrap collector. So let's do a quick find and replace. So wherever I see perk motherload, we're going to change that to perk scrap collector in the selection, and that should, if we replace all, that should go ahead and replace all of those things for us. So now, well, this is where we can add our localization to things like that as well. So now we've gone and done that, we are going to remove this XP gain from harvesting because that seems a bit backwards. And this time we're just going to change the harvest count, and then again it's going to be between 20 and 100%. But this time we're going to add, we're going to call it scrap collector harvest. There we go. Now all we need to do is add this tag to any drop events that we want to be able to harvest from. So now we got this guy, we can go ahead and go back into our blocks file. And now we can find all the blocks that we want to add scrap collection to. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and I think we should put it, so that's pallet boxes and stuff like that. So that's changing loot crates. We should probably put it here. So this is going to be for the scrap collector perk. There we go. And now what we're going to do is going to add some drop events with the tag scrap collector harvest to pallets, junk, etc., etc. There we go. So this is going to allow us to get extra stuff out of junk and things like that, which is going to be awesome. So now what we need to do is we need to actually find the blocks that we want to affect. So let's go and see here. So let's go back to the start of the pallets, because the pallets are the first one I think we want to do. So pallet white bags base. Let's go and select this guy here. So we're going to append a drop event to this guy after the second harvest event, and we're going to then add our resource drops in. So we're going to use another insert after XPath, because this is the best way I think we can do it to make sure that the XML stays in a nice orderly way when we look at it in, if we ever like do a config dump, we want to do that. So we're going to go insert after XPath equals, and then we're going to go blocks, and the block whose name is this guy, and then we want the drop whose event equals harvest, and we want to insert it after the last one, so we're going to go and last in brackets like that, because that will find the last one. If you don't know what the last one is for sure, you can just use this last function, which will find you the very last entry in the XPath, and then we can go /insert after, close that, and now we go ahead and put our drop event in right here. So from the white bags, what do we get? So from the white bag space, we get cement between 10 and 100 with the tag all harvest. So let's go and copy this one. We'll copy these two, and then we'll change some tags. So let's go ahead and let's just check with all wood harvest as well, see how that works. So with all wood harvest, if I take my caps off would help, because as you can see it's all over the place. I don't want to spell it that way. So all wood harvest. So how does all wood harvest work? So resource box small. So that adds the tag of all wood harvest. So you add extra to that. So we could add a tag to this, and then have some scrap harvest as well. So that works. So why don't we do that? So we're going to add. We're going to have to change a few things and then add things in. So let's go back to our blocks file. We're going to do some changes and we're going to do some additions. So this is going to be quite a bit of change. So we're going to add some more drop events. and this is going to be the counts as we had before, but then we're going to change this to scrap collector harvest, like this. Now, currently what this is going to do is it's going to give us this stuff by default, right? So we don't want that. We want it to give us this stuff as a bonus. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this down to, like, say, we're going to go 10 and 20, and then what we're going to do, actually, let's make it 5 and 20. And for this one, we're going to say it's currently 3. I'm happy to leave that as 3 as it is right there. Then what we're going to do is, before this guy, we're going to set an attribute for the existing harvest. So currently you get between 10 and 100, but what I want to do is change it to like 5 and 20, and then we can add some other things as well, which should be pretty good. So let's go, we're going to go set attribute, which is all lowercase actually. So set attribute XPath, and this time we're going to look for, again, blocks, and we want to find the block whose name is going to be pallet white bags base, and then we want to find drop event equals harvest, and we want the, and then we're going to do a name equals resource event. There we go. So we want to change, oh, and I need to add the attribute sign right there because we're looking for an attribute of name. And then what we want to do is we want to, the thing we want to edit is going to be count. Okay, so we're going to do that, and actually I should put that in double quotes just for consistency's reasons, because double quotes are good. And then close that. Set attribute like that. So then what we can do is we can go and say in here, instead of, currently it's between 10 and 100, right? So now, because we've added 5 and 20 there, we're going to change this to 5. Actually, let's do 550 and 550, because that way then you'll get, this will then default it when you're at level 5. Instead of getting 100 out of this at a maximum, you'll get 150 as a maximum. Ricky says, will it have air like the other test bag? A slight chance to get another full event, or a chance to get nothing. It could do, yes. You can make it give you a chance to get nothing as well. And then for the wood one, we're just going to add 0 to 5, because 5 is like a good number here. So you get between 0 to 5, because it definitely seems like you should get like more wood out of those things as well. So that's the first one right there. Then the next one, and now we've done this, this should apply that to everything that extends from it. So this one extends from it. This one does as well. So does this one. But what we want to do is for the other ones, we want to set the resource wood to 0 for the bonus harvest, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that for anything else. So let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to go drop event is this one. So we need to essentially add the drop event for no wood from these other ones, because otherwise we'll get wood from ones where we shouldn't get to it. So we've got pallet bricks partial 2, pallet bricks loose. Yeah, so any that has resource 1. Yeah, so now what we're going to do is we can probably actually pallet bricks tile, pallet bricks base. Yeah, so now what we could do is we could do a shortcut XPath to kind of select all of these, which will be quicker than doing each one individually. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to look for everything that starts with pallet bricks, and there's actually a function to do this, which is really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go insert after XPath equals, we want all blocks and block start, and then we want to say this time we want all names that starts with, so it's going to start with a name attribute of pallet bricks, and then we're going to say whose name is not, so we can use the not equal sign like that. I think actually I'll do it this way, I'm more familiar with this way, and whose name is not, and then we want the original one. So we want anything that has pallet white bags base and not name equals this one. So yeah, this will select then all of them that starts with pallet bricks. Actually no, hang on a sec, I've skipped this one. I've skipped something here, hang on. So we want pallet bricks hang on. No, we want to do this one. Pallet. That's it. White bags, not pallet bricks. We want pallet white bags. Here we go. Because it's called pallet white bags something. And we want everyone but the base. So we want pallet white bags. There we go. Starts with pallet white bags, but it's not the pallet white bags base. So that'll select everything but the base one. And then inside there, we want to select any of those that have a drop with a harvest event. So drop event equals harvest. And name equals resource wood. Like that. So yeah, we want to go ahead and do that. And then the attribute that we want to set after that is we want to now go ahead and add 0 harvest to that. So insert after. And then all we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to grab this guy here, and we're going to pretty much set this guy back to 0. So that's going to be just 0 here now. So this will override the previous drop ones, if that makes sense. Because when you extend a block, it doesn't override the drop ones. The other thing we could do is check the ones that extend from the brace one, but it's probably easier to do this because it's more specific. So we'll probably get the ones you want. So now what we're going to do, so this first one, so here's what happens. The first one it changes the drop event, but from 10 to 100 to 5 to 50, and then it makes the same 5 to 50 here, adds a scrap collector harvest to that. It also allows you to get up to 5 more wood, which will be up to 10 more wood once you 100% it out. But then anything that extends from it that doesn't have wood at the bottom, we're now overriding that with 0 wood harvest. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a bit of a mouthful to tell you what it's doing, but this is going to let's add a comment to this one here. So this is for white brick pallets. Get up to 50 more cement mix at level 5 scrap collector. There we go. And that should, in theory, explain everything for that one. And then all we've got to do is pretty much do the same thing for the other pallets as well. So now we're going to go, we're going to do the brown boxes. So I think for that one, that gives you paper and things. So let's go ahead and see what's in the brown boxes one. So brown boxes you get, as harvesting, you get scrap polymers with all harvest, you get paper with all harvesting, but then you get nothing else. So what we can do is we can change this so you get a little bit more paper and a little bit more polymers from these, because I think that'd be worth it as well. And then we could add some other things. The other thing I want to check as well is there are some things that you get more brass from, like it says you can get like more brass from junk and things with a certain perk. So like for the ores, let's have a look at the ores, because I know there is a way to get let's see, scrap polymers. There is a way with the mining book to get gems from ores. So I just want to check that, because that might also hold some info about what I can do. So let's go up to the top of the sec to the terrain blocks, because there's something in here I can search as well. So terrain or potassium. So what have we got here? Harvest, resource rock, small potassium nitrate. And then it's added diamonds. Probability is 0.005. Okay, so it just added it with a probability art of mining, lucky strike harvest. So yeah, it added it to that. So I don't know actually if this will. So currently it's got all wood harvest. Stick chances 0. So I don't know actually if this will. Strike collector harvest. I don't know if this will actually affect it then, because it gives you like a very small chance to get diamonds, gold, and silver. I think what we should do is probably test our first one and check that it works before we do it. And yes, Ricky, copy and paste for the rest pretty much, and we can just change the names over. So I think what we should probably do is test that this works first. If not, we might actually need to add the categories to each of the tools as well. We might need to add that extra tag to the tools that we use as well. Because that's probably anything with melee on it. Essentially, we could add it to. That's a harvesting tool. That might be the final thing we need to do. But until then, because all harvest I think has the hands. So yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's go into game. If I can find my game, that'd be handy, wouldn't it? There we go. 7 days. Let's go launch 7 days and see what we can do here. But yeah, we should, once we've done that, be able to copy and paste for most of the rest. Okay, oh, we have a XML, loading XML, blocks XML. We actually have a cannot contain double dash, cannot be the last character. 77 position 4. Okay, oh, Ruby's going nuts. I think people are home. Lane 77 position 4, we have an error. So let's go and see. Let's go and close that down. Because I don't need that. I don't need that running in the background. Right, get out of here. Yeah. Okay, close the program. So 77 position 4 in blocks XML was an error. Let's see. It's probably a comment that's left. Oh yeah, I didn't close out a comment. That's it. I didn't close out the comment, so that's fine. We'll just remove the comment and go from there. Yay for red text. So let's go and see here. Okay, so let's go and grab this. Grab this guy. And then we'll see if this works. It might be that we need to apply the tag to the tool as well that we need, which would make sense. So let's go into test 5, and we'll go from there. Ricky says, or a separate drop event for anything that isn't in the original loot and gives a chance to get diamonds from the newer roll. It's something like that, yeah. It's not quite clear what it does, or how the tag is applied. It's like, I don't know if it's applied to the item and then it only triggers once you get the perk, and if not, then it doesn't. I have no idea on that. Okay, so let's get some pallets down. So let's go into creative, get some pallets. So we did the white bags, right? This is the one we did. So you got these ones. Put these down, and then we can go and do that. So let's put these down. All right, guys, I will be right back. I've got to go and help some stuff. So I'll be back in just a sec. Okay. Alrighty guys, sorry about the long wait right there. Let's just go and quickly hop back in. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time to do much more of this in this stream, so we're really going to quickly test what we did put in works. Let me just see if anyone else came along. Ricky's doing all the advertisements for me there. Thank you so much, dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a couple of these down, and we're going to go ahead and check that, first of all, our perk appeared. So let's go and see. There it is. Perk scrap collector is right there. Doesn't have any descriptions yet. We will be able to add those a little bit later. So you can see that all the descriptions though are here ready to go. So what we're going to go ahead and do then is we're going to dig one without it, and then we're going to see if overall we get more. So I'm going to dig like a row out without the scrap collector perk and a row out with it, and we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and get a shovel. A steel shovel should be pretty good. Yep, a quality 6 one as well. Let's put the Gravedigger mod on it as well, why not? So Gravedigger, let's grab this guy. And we are going to go ahead and do you, so modify and add you. There you go, so that should do a nice chunk of damage to these things. So let's go ahead and just dig these out and see what we get right now. So this is giving me 3 wood, and we got 8 concrete from there. So we got 6 wood. So we're getting 9 wood. So I can pretty much tell it based on the amount of wood whether this perk is working. So it's 15. Okay, 18. So we got 18 from there. We got 168. Okay, so now let's go and try with the scrap collector perk. So if we go and invest a level into here, so let's go and give ourselves some XP. That should do enough for like a level or so. Let's see now if it updated. Let's see. No, 10,000 XP not enough? Okay, 100,000. There you go, a couple of 100,000 XP. Let's see if that updated it now. So now we've got 30 skill points to spend with 200,000 XP. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab one of these. So that requires 1 perception. So now let's see if it does it. If it does, then great. If not, then we need to go ahead and take a look at our tools. I think it's not doing it. Let's just double check. Yeah, it's not increasing the amount of wood harvest. So, he says, perhaps chat could name the new perk. Keep it clean, chat. We could name the new perk. We'll return soon, guys. Hang in there. Yeah, I can't go too much longer. I literally got like 5 more minutes that I can do. Okay, so it looks like the amount of wood we're getting has not been increased. So I think that might be because the tools we have here, are currently disabled for that. So let's go and have a look here. So we're going to go into our items file, and let's have a look for a stone axe, because that'll probably have all the things we need. So the tags is axe main light tool, axe strength. Okay, so that has minus 69. Can have cosmetic. Okay, so you can see that does have the same perk here. So we need to probably add. We probably need to add the perk mudload thing to. We probably need to add perk scrap collector to the tools for it to apply. Now the other thing I want to check is we have gems harvest. So let me just go and see here what's going on. Because in the progression one, let's go ahead and do gems. Because there is loot quantity of gems adds percentage here. So that's the great heist one. It's not that one. It's one of the mining books, isn't it? So let's go and check one of the mining books real quick. So it's the Wasteland Treasures one, the Hunting one, Art of Mining. Here we go. Lucky Strike. So base set. Okay, Lucky Strike Harvest. Art of Mining, Lucky Strike Harvest. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look and see which has this one. So passive effect name is Harvest Count. Then it does a base set of 1 first. So that's probably what we need to do as well. Is at level 1, we need to base set it at 1. At level 0, then of course there'll be no base setting. So let's go and see what items have that as well. Let's see. So no items are actually have that tag. So it's going to be in the blocks then somewhere, I think. So if we go into blocks. Okay, so that's Art of Mining, Lucky Strike Harvest. Okay, so this, so I guess then what we need to do is add a base set to it. In the perks here, we need to do the base set. So that'll probably be there. I just want to check as well in entity classes as well, if there are any buffs or anything that will do that. So let's go into let's go into our main file. I want to see where this shows up because this will tell me all the places to add it. So let's go in buffs. Is it anywhere in buffs? It's nowhere in buffs, so we don't need to add it anywhere in buffs. That's fine. So I guess we just need to do a base set, and then that'll do it from there. So it's not in buffs. Is it in entity classes? Is it a base variable in the player? Here we go. So we need to add. Okay, so we need to add a new base effect to the player. Okay, so this is what we need to do then. We need to add an entity classes file, and then on the player class, we need to add another passive effect here. So this is where the harvest count is set for the player. Okay, so this will actually make it easier. Now I think about it. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go to our own entity classes file. So let's come out of here, back into our mods, and then we're going to go to looting redone, and then we're going to change. Do I have anything that I'm not using right now? I don't think I have a recipes file, right? Yeah, so we can repurpose recipes to entity classes here. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go to this guy, and we're going to go entity classes. There we go. And then we're going to go into here, and then we're going to go append XPath equals. Actually, we're going to do insert after. It's going to be more accurate. So insert after XPath, and then we're going to go to entity classes, and then whose entity class name equals. I think it's player male. Let's just double check that as well. So entity class name is player male. It's an lowercase p. So entity class name is player male. And then we want to look for the effect group. Entity classes effect groups do extend if you extend an entity to another. Pay attention so you do not stack several base add or percentage adds. So the effect group, is there only one of them or is there more? I think there's only one effect group. Yep, so it's the effect group. So we want this one. So effect, if I can spell it, effect group, and then it's a passive effect, and whose name equals. So here we go. So passive effect name equals. Actually, the passive effect harvest count. So where is the special mining harvest one? So art of mining lucky strike. So effect name is harvest count. Okay, so it's going to be the harvest count for art of mining lucky strike. So yeah, it's pretty much they're pretty much adding these together here. So we can do harvest count. Yes, the last harvest count one, I think. So you can add it after the last harvest count one. So let's go and grab this one. Yep, we'll add it there. So we're going to look for the name equals harvest count and last. There we go. And then from here, we can add a new passive effect to the player, which should then tag it. So then what we can do, we can copy this one from entity classes. So we can just go passive effect name, this guy. We can say harvest count operation base set is 0, and that has the scrap collector harvest. There we go. And then we should be able to go ahead and do that. So now with scrap collector harvest, we can go and set it to 0 initially, and then when we get our first level of the perk, we can set it to 1. So then what we need to do in progression is we need to do. Okay, so first of all, we need to go passive effect name equals harvest count, and then operation, it's going to be base set, and then value, and then between levels 1 and 5, it's going to be 1. There we go. So between, we're just going to go from 1 to 1, and tags equals scrap collector harvest. There we go. And then it can then add percentages. So maybe instead it'll be at level 1, it will just be 0. And then it'll go to 1. So then it will go up in increments of 25%. So that should work. And then what we can do is in our items file, we can actually simplify this a lot now in our blocks. So in our current blocks file now, we can go ahead and instead of setting it to like 550 and doing all that crazy stuff, we can remove that. And then we can just set a bonus based on here. So now we can set a bonus of 10 to 50 here. We can set a bonus of 3 wood and 5 wood there. And that now should just trigger the bonus once we get it. So now, once we do this, any bonuses should just be triggered once we make that effect. So that should be pretty cool. We might have to start a new game now, but let's see. Let's see if this works. Hopefully it's going to work, so we can go from there. So we're going to go to 7 days. We're going to start it off, and then we can go there. So really quickly, login game. I'll check this works, and if it does, then we've successfully added a new type of perk. So continue game. Let's start a new world so we get a new player. So this will be test 7. Test 7, there we go. Start a world. Generate a world, and then we should go from there. But yeah, if you guys do have an idea for a perk name, then let me know. Oh, what have we got here? Patching something went wrong. Looting redone, failed. From blocks at XML. Pallet white bag space, drop event equals harvest. Has an invalid token. Okay, I've not seen any invalid tokens before. That's interesting. Maybe it's trying to set it after both. Okay, well, at least we know that we're setting the C bar correctly on the player now, which is good. Okay, so let's pop in game real quick. So I have to come out of that and see what it means by invalid token. But I have no idea what that means, because it says, sounds good, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what the invalid token is there. So insert after, XPath, let's go and insert after, drop event equals harvest and last. It should. It seems like it's accurate. Event harvest equals last. Blocks whose block name is pallet white bags base. Then we're looking for the drop event, which is harvest, and the last one. But it's saying it has an invalid token. Okay, I guess then we could just append then. This will be easier. So instead of doing that, we'll just do that. We'll just do an append one, and we'll see if that solves it. And then we can change that to append there. Because yeah, if insert after wants to have issues, then we can try this instead. And we want those which has a drop event or resource wood. And then for this one, we want to come out back up to here. And then change that to append as well. Alright, let's go and just double check this works then. And hopefully this one does. So if insert after is failing us, we'll try append and we'll see if we got there. Ari says, have you set a token? I haven't set a token. We set a tag, but not a token. I don't know what it means by token in this regard. So let's go and load the world and see what happens here. Because it was in blocks XML. So do we get another red error? Loading game data. We didn't get the error this time. XML did not apply. Insert after this. Okay, so it did not apply the XML patch for entity classes. Okay. So again, it didn't apply it. So let's go and check what is wrong with that as well. So there's something wrong with our XPath. So let's go and copy the entity class file. So entity class name. Hang on. So entity. Oh, it's entity underscore classes. That'll be why. So we're gonna go entity underscore classes. Entity class name is player. That will be the issue with the XPath. So it was just for some reason the XML is named differently. So now we can come back out and we can go back in. We'll start a new one, just to be sure that the player does have the tag set when they first spawn into the world. Okay, let's try that. So yeah, we'll try insert after or append and see what happens there. Let's see now if the XPath fails to go through. And let's go CM, DM, give self. Hang on, and then we'll give ourselves some XP. Like 1,000,000 XP or something. Okay. And wait, keep CM on. And then go here. Look for the pallets. And let's see what we get. Here we go. So one pallet. Let's go put it down here. Okay. So now that we've got that, we can go ahead and get a shovel again. So a steel shovel. Okay, tier 5 one will do just fine. As long as I can dig with it. So we do this. We get 1, 2, 3 wood. Okay, let's go and invest in the perk. So if I invest in the first one of this perk, let's see if this works now. So we got 3 wood and 64 cement. Do we get more wood? This will tell me if I get it more. And this time I got 7 wood and 89. There we go. So this actually works. So you can see now that I get more from investing in this perk. How cool is that? So you can see now I get like, I got 21 wood from that now. So we're able to collect scrap and things. If we do need a perk icon, can it be a glove or something? A glove could be pretty cool. How you doing, Justin? So maybe the token refers to the icon in the skill list. I don't think so, because the icon right here is, the icon is actually defined right there. So that's the current icon that it has, Scrap Collector. But yeah, we can have a glove or something, which I think would be pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, we could call it Scrap Collector, but if you guys have a more inventive name, then by all means, let me know. Let's go and max this out and see. So we'll max this out to level 10. And then we'll max this out to level 5. There we go. So yeah, we'll max these guys out to level 5 now. And we'll see what this does now. Oh wow, look at that. So we got 13 wood from that one instead, and we got 77 cement. Look at that, so it actually works. Look at that. The wrench looks cool. Yeah, the wrench does look cool. But yeah, we can add a new perk icon if there is not a glove one in-game. But there we go, that actually works as intended. So what we've done now is we've come up with a framework to add a new perk to the game, which will then allow us to harvest more from certain blocks. So that's how you do it. So now all we have to do is apply this little bit here to all the other blocks that we want to have harvest out of, which is going to be really, really cool. However, guys, right now I do have to go ahead and end off the stream because I have to be somewhere very soon. So I'm going to go ahead and end it all off here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back a little bit later with some more modding. So I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, guys, bye!